Hi, boys and girls, it's Miss Cooper. We are going to start with our everyday math lesson, Unit 5, Lesson 8, Finding Missing Factors. And before we read the little number story here at the beginning, I want to just remind you, yesterday we talked about factors and products. Remember, factors are the two numbers we multiply together. So in this case, it would be 5 and 6 are the factors, and a product is the answer to a multiplication problem. So 30 would be the product. So that's going to be important because if we're trying to find the missing factors, that means that one of these numbers, either the 5 or the 6 that we're multiplying, is missing, and we're trying to figure it out. So let's read this problem. There are 6 teams on the field for a tournament. There are 54 players in all. Each team has the same number of players. How many players are on each team? And again, this is why it's super important to learn our multiplication facts, as I've mentioned several times, because if we already knew our multiplication facts and had been practicing, we would know that 6 times something equals 54. So since we're not sure about that and we're still learning them, I'm going to show you a couple ways to do that, but I'm going to give you about 15 seconds to see if you can think about what you would do to solve this problem. So start thinking. All right, hopefully you've thought of a strategy that might work. See if it's one of these. Again, here's the problem. I just put it on this next slide. And here's a couple ways you could think of this. I know that 6 teams with 10 players on each team is a total of 60 players, because remember we've talked about that 2s, 5s, and 10s are easy to learn and memorize because counting by 2s, 5s, and 10s are easy. So we know that 6 teams with 10 players would be 60, but we know that we're only supposed to have 54 players. So if I subtract one group of players from each one of those, I have 6 groups with 9 players on each team. And when I count that up, that gives me 54 players in all. So I took 60 minus 9 equals 54. Okay. Then another way you can think about that is to look at this orange box, and it says, I know that there are 6 teams and they need to have the same number of players with 54 players in all. So I divided 54 into 6 equal groups, and there were 9 players in each group. So it would be 54 divided by 6 equals 9. Let's go on and see what we're going to do today. So one thing that will help you connect here is if you notice that 6 times 9 equals 54, even if we flip these factors and we make it 9 times 6, it still gives us a product of 54. You can also, just like when we learned fact families in 2nd grade and you did addition and subtraction, you can do the same thing with multiplication and division. So we have the 2 multiplication problems. We simply flip and we give the product first. So 54 divided by 6 equals 9, or 54 divided by 9 equals 6. So you're using the same 3 numbers, but still making a fact family just like you did in 2nd grade with addition and subtraction. So it says one way to gain fluency with multiplication and division facts is to practice with fact triangles. So that's what we're going to practice today. I'm going to give you some slides for practice today, and you're going to complete the fact families for multiplication and division. So here's the first one. It's an example. You have the numbers 9, 3, and 27. Remember, the biggest number is going to be the answer or the product for your multiplication problems. So you can start out by, you're just going to click in the box like I just did, and you're going to type 9 times, click in the next box, 3 equals 27. Then we're simply going to flip the 9 and the 3 spots, and we're going to say 3 times 9 equals 27. Now we're going to do our division problems. Our biggest number needs to come first when we're dividing, because we're going to tell how many we have all together. So 27 divided by 3 equals Hopefully you're thinking it's 9. Again, we're using those same 3 numbers all the way through the problem. And then 27 divided by, I already divided it by 3, so now I'm going to divide it by 9, and I'm going to get 3. So as you can see, once you learn your threes tables, and you know that 9 times 3 equals 27, you would also know that 27 divided by 3 equals 9. Let's practice another one. So now we have the numbers 36, 4, and 9. So we're going to start out with our multiplication problems first. So we're going to do 4 times 9 equals 36. And then these two factors are going to switch places, and 9 is going to come first. And then 4 gives us a product of 36. Now we're going to bring 36 down here first, divided by 9 equals, what do you think is going to go in that box? Right, 4. And then our last problem will be 36 divided by, we used 9 last time, so what's going to go in this box this time? Correct, 4. And our last answer, 36 divided by 4 equals 9. All right, so that's what you're going to do for practice today, and hopefully you keep practicing those multiplication facts so you can become a fact master.